good song. It's like very popular, but we didn't know in southern part of China. So I asked somebody, I said, what is this song played? It sounds really good. So young people told me, I was really young too, but somebody younger than me and told me, said, this is from Chi Zhiqiang. Chi Zhiqiang is a movie star, and he had more than one girlfriend at that time. So Chinese actually put him in jail for that reason. So I saw your face. It was like, wow, more than one girlfriend? Yes. 20 years ago, if you have more than one girlfriend, you sleep around, they put you in jail, but they don't do that anymore, so relax. Okay. Right, they really do. So, and he's an influential person, movie star. He plays all those heroes on the movie, but underneath he was slept with the girls, so they put him in jail for 2 years. And when he was in jail, he realized that's not the right lifestyle, so he wrote a song about I feel I was wrong, I want to get up, do better, be a better man, be a real hero in the real life. So it becomes so popular, and after he came out from jail, at the time, he was not hired back as a movie star, but he was sing songs and play with bands in some coffee shop, places like that. But young people liked his music, and they play everywhere. So I heard this one, and then the young guy was talking to me. He said, look, that's an article about him. So he was in a magazine. I read the story, and he is from Harbin. I just learned he's from Harbin, and also I learned his father actually in Harbin works for railroad police station as the chief. So I was on my way to Harbin to promote my beer, right? And as a marketing person, my mind started tinkling with, if I can get this guy play my show, that would attract more people because people would come to see him. But I didn't know where he was at the time. I just learned his father lives in Harbin, and I can find his father when I get to the city, right? So as soon as I got to Harbin, and I made phone calls and find out how can I find his father's number. I actually got it. So I called him up, and I called Chi. Their last name is Chi. We always call uncle. If somebody older than us, I call Uncle Chi, right? So I called up and said, Uncle Chi, and I wonder, where is your son right now? Chi Zhiqiang is his son. And he told me, oh, he's in Hangzhou. Hangzhou is in east part of China. And he's there singing songs, play with bands. So I quickly told him, I said, I represent which beer company, which we have a huge name. If I mention where I come from, in which part of town, it's in Zhuhai, which is very popular at that time for business. He know who I'm talking about. Okay, so I said, I'm from that city. I'm going to have 3 days big show in your city in the top place. And I would like to invite your son to sing on our stage. I think you would like it because he's from here. I heard what happened to him. If he be able to, he was in coffee shops making some little money, but if I have him on my stage, guess what? He come here showing people in his town, I'm back. Just like a hero again. So his mom, dad happy about that idea. I said, I'll pay for everything, but would you help me get him? His father was so happy. He said, oh, we would like to buy you dinner. They call me Miss Zhang. I said, yeah, we have a chance. But right now, would you find a way to get him back? His father said, absolutely. I'm going to call him today, tell him I am sick. So obviously he flew back, And we had 3 days big show because he was there. Obviously, we attract more people come to our show because he's popular, right? But I'm using this example is in business, you have to thinking about what it works. In Chinese culture, if I get his father, I get him. I don't even know where he was. When his father called him, he'll come back performers for us. But the same situation may not happen here in the United States. But when you are dealing with Chinese customer, always keep on the mind. That's something you can always play. Let's say if you're in hotel business, maybe you can create some family event. Not only get a couple in your hotel, have a good time. Get their couples, dad, mom. So instead of 2 people in your hotel, you got 6. That's just something you can thinking about, right? So when I'm saying respect, there are many rules, do's and do's, and relate with this one root. It's called respect. So if you understand the Chinese, they respect their elderly people, their teachers, anybody has longer experience than them. Young people pay attention to show their respect. So in your business, if anybody they are older than you, it's very easy to build better relationship and networking with them in your business. That's just one example. And another thing is the second root I want to share today is the superstitions. I mentioned earlier what happened Frank because he said, who is your beneficiary? Then Stacy said, I didn't forget fill up the paper. I don't have one. Let's get it done. Because she doesn't want to talk about it. Must is a good divorce. She got $500,000. She was happy. Maybe her life just started, reborn again. So she's not thinking about she's going to die next day. So somebody else will benefit from the $500,000. So at the moment, she's not thinking about that. So the correct way to handle that situation would be, if I was Frank, number 1 is respect what she's saying. Let her deposit the money first. Then maybe, she's in your bank, she had $500,000 in your bank account, and you're going to want to keep her money for a long time and invest her money, right? So Frank need to call her back after a while, set up a lunch, a coffee, and explain to her that's actually important to have a beneficiary just in case something happens. But you never talk aloud when you first time meet someone. So when you become to her friend, when you at least treat her as a friend, she would understand why this come from. Oh, he's not cursing me. He care about me. He want to protect me. At that time, she would agree to do something. So if Frank would handle the business in that way, Stacy would pass his name to all her friends. And this guy not only helped me deposit my money, he actually teach me how to handle my money, put myself in his shoes. So you see, it's totally different results if you do it a different way. But without understanding the cultural difference, there is no way you would know. Probably poor Frank today, now it's 3 years later, he probably still don't understand why we left. Maybe he thought we're crazy, show up with $500,000 check, and the next thing we just left, right? So that's one thing. And I want to show some, here's some, I just picked up some newspaper this morning. Where's your button? Here?
The yellow one, upper.
There is nothing. Let me see. Where there is nothing.
Just
at all?
push
Push like this. Come on. Please. So I want to talk about numbers. About superstition. Okay, so that's the newer newspaper I just picked up from my home this morning before I left. I want you to look at the phone numbers there. First is, can you tell me the last four numbers, the first advertising? I know you don't read Chinese, just to see the phone number. Like 0698, right? Okay, let's read the second one. That's a doctor's number. What's the 1588, right? Another number 8668, right? Okay. Then we go down. Here is another one. This is the China Airline. Have you noticed their business number? 888-338-8988. Right? You notice something? And I'll give this gentleman a chance. What is your website? Tell me.
It's called Atlanta168.com.
Okay.
6 and 8.
168. Okay. Why everybody picked 8? Yes, he knows. Kyle knows the answer. Because the numbers to Chinese means different thing. No one likes number 4. The reason is not number 4 has something wrong, because in Chinese, 4 is, that's Chinese say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, it's also the same sound. You pronouncing the word of die and dead. It's 死. Somebody 死了 means he's dead. So that's why people don't like 4, number 4, and at their phone number, their business number. Maybe some people don't even buy a house. The number ends at 4. So you see it, and 6, 8, 9, they are good numbers, especially 8, because 8, the sound is from Cantonese language. The sounds like rich. Don't you want to hear your number tells you rich, 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 rich? Right. It's much better than die, 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 die. Right? So those are the real life examples, right? Why people pick phone numbers. And why in Hong Kong, the license number for your car, if you get 888, it costs you a lot extra money to get that number. You buy them. You buy good phone number. You buy good car numbers. You buy good number for everything, for good fortune. They just soaked. I don't know why, but Chinese believe it so badly about this. So it's exactly the same reason why Stacy and me, we were freaking out when Frank was talking to us about, oh, my godson just passed last week. It just died last week. I was like, holy smoke. What he's going to say next? That's just wrong. Not only run away, and we're going to go home, take shower, wash away everything before we can start our new day, because that's how much curse he put on us. So now I want to give you our a little exercises that say, you already heard number 4 is not so good. Number 8 is great to Chinese. So let's say somebody just check into your hotel and everything's fine. Suddenly this guy showed up in the front desk and said, and I want to change your room. And then the lady asked, said, Mr. Wang, what's wrong about that room? You don't like your room? He said, the room's fine. I don't like the number. I don't like 1404. If people don't have the cultural knowledge, we think this guy is crazy. The room's fine, everything's fine, hot tub is nice, and he doesn't like 1404. So now after this class, you would know why. You would happily change it to maybe 1808. Make him happy. He'll stay longer and he spend money in your hotel. Why not? Everybody wins, right? So some hotel even has no 14th floor. I was in a conference in which hotel? W Hotel or the next door in Midtown?
It was Lowe's.
Lowe's, yes, we were there 3 weeks ago, right? They don't have 13, which is based on our West culture. I'm calling our West culture because my brothers think I'm so American now. There is no 13th floor. There is no 14th floor. Actually, it's not a bad thing because they called 14th floor was the conference floor. They used to see instead of 14. So that was one thing to take care of some problem, right? It's easy. So different culture cares about different things. I'm not saying Chinese it's such a big deal just because they're almost to get to number one. They're number two now. But that's it. They have 1.3 billion people inside China. And we're not counting the people living, they're not counting me. I'm Chinese living here in US. How many people living here? In Atlanta area, as I know of, 60,000, right? 60,000 Chinese people. Those people has paper. There are lots of people come here from a boat. We don't know how many. Do you want their business? That's just yes, no question, really simple. If you want their business, they have so many people, why not learn something about their culture and get them in your hotel, spend money in your hotel? Everybody's happy. They're happy, you're happy, everybody's happy. The world in peace, right? So that's another example. And another root, the third root I wanted to share with you is gratitude and get even. Gratitude is really easy to understand. Chinese has a saying that what they say is, if someone gave me one drop of water when I'm thirsty, I will return a bucket of oil when I have it. Think about how much worth the water, how much worth the oil. Right. So basically is if somebody helped you when you have a difficult time, and you always return, you always do more than they gave to you from first place. Those education, we've been brainwashed since we were little. We do that, really do. And I don't know if you guys have a Chinese friend or you know them well, try them. If you treat them nice, I wouldn't say 100%, but 99% I can guarantee you, if you treat them nice at first place, they return a favor. But one thing about Chinese culture I don't think it's so good about is that it's not easy to forgiving. I'm Chinese. I rather to convince you. I rather to tell you that it is. It's not really good thing. And because, again, their generation, they've been told, oh, if his grandfather hurt your grandfather, you never go be friend with his grandson. That's what we've been told. How much we're getting better, I don't know. But that's a part of their culture. They are not easy to forgive. Okay. They never voluntarily attack other people. They don't usually manage other people's business. But if you manage their business, they're going to get even with you. So I'm saying this, I want to give you one example. And I experienced so many times in the United States, people sometimes think I'm Japanese. Or maybe, people are so kind, sweet. They try to show some respect to Oriental people because look like Oriental. Maybe they know I'm Chinese, but they're doing to the Japanese way. I don't speak Japanese, I don't understand Japanese, even though I know where I come from, but it doesn't work very well. I am okay because I'm living here for a long time, but really Chinese culture and the Japanese culture it's different. Because of Chinese and the Japanese had a war in World War II, so sometimes they're very sensitive to be treated as Japanese. Especially if you go to China, and when you do this, your intention is good because you are trying to respect them, but you didn't know between Japanese or Chinese. You messed up, but actually will create opposite results. It's not so good. So for that reason, if you would like to spend some time to learn about culture, I would pay attention to differentiate them because they are different. Okay? How well we do time?
We're fine.
Okay, we're fine.
You're
Okay.
14 questions.
Okay. So we're close to. So I mentioned the 3 cultural roots. Number 1 is the roots of respect. Number 2 is the superstitions. Like everything has to be good luck. I mentioned to Mike during lunchtime, I said, fortune cookie, it's not made in China. You may be not knowing that. Fortune cookie is made in San Francisco by somebody's creation. It's a perfect combination of American marketing idea and the Chinese superstitions idea. They married so well together. Everyone goes to Chinese restaurant, you are expecting to get a fortune cookie, right? But if you really go to China eating in Chinese restaurant, there is no fortune cookie. So don't disappoint it when you go there. And also, Chinese don't really eat fried rice. Because originally, fried rice was leftover. We were really poor as Chinese, so we don't throw food away. After 3 days, without refrigerator, rice doesn't taste like rice. So you have to really cook it. Put a lot of soy sauce and other leftover cook, so you can't really taste what it is. And after you cook, you killed all the germs, so you eat it, you don't die. But the American loves fried rice and fried noodle. So here, because they want to serve you, they had to cook the rice a day before, because you cannot cook fried rice on the same day. You steam it, you put it on the pot, you fry it, it doesn't go very well, it's too sticky. You have to cook the rice at least 1 night before, wait until it's dry. Then you can fry them. Right. So those things, if you know it, then, if you take your Chinese girlfriend out first time, you're showing the respect and love, like, I'll take you to a Chinese restaurant. Honey, let me just order your fried rice. She was like, what the word? She tried, let me eat leftover. Right? So, it's interesting cultural things. If you know it, you know it. If you don't know it, you don't know it. There is nothing right. There is nothing wrong. My philosophy is make it work. Whatever it works to me is right. Does that make sense? Thank you. So now I'm going to take some questions. We have 10 minutes. Just say, this is not one-man speech. That's discussion. This is say what kind of question you have, and I'd like to hear if this helpful. You learned anything new today. Is that going to help you? So who would want to ask first question?
What are other superstitions that y'all have other than the 8 and 4?
Oh my God, there are so many of them. I give you 2. There are so many of them. You're going to go to my website and read my book one day, but I'll give you something more. Okay. Let's say broken a bowl, rice bowl. Okay, 打碎碗, right? In here, right? I watch lots of movies. People get personality. They get mad first, then they'll smash whatever inside their hand, right? Because this is a rich country. It's not a big deal to smash a car, smash a bowl of noodles, whatever, It shows the personality. But to Chinese, the bowl of rice or the empty bowl, it shows you're not going to be hungry forever. So that is something you never want to smash your own bowl at your own home. This is the last thing you want to do to yourself, to anyone you love, anyone you care. That's just one other example, right? And what other superstitions that say people buy a house? If you're going to buy a house and choose a house, Chinese would not buy a house below street. Like this is a street level, right? They would at least buy a house on the same level of the street. It's not like going down to the hill. They just don't, because in their mind, when people die, they bury underneath the dirt. So it doesn't matter. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a house below the street, right? They're good house, but they would not buy. And okay. Is that good? Okay.
It's the same concept where it's the same level. Do you often see people that won't purchase basements for the same reason?
No. I never heard about the basement, but the basement, they don't live there. Basement considered is a storage place, right? It's extra room, but you don't live below there. That's the place you actually will sleep. You will live. And another thing is superstitions talk about they usually would not purchase a house if the kitchen stove right below master bedroom, because to them, this husband and wife will fight forever because the fire make them, that's a feng shui thing. It's not because they want to fight, because the kitchen was there burning them. That's why they fight. So they will choose an environment they believe that will keep them love, in peace, in harmony. That answer your question? Mm-hmm. Go on.
You said when you go out to lunch, to build a relationship, how do you approach, the paying of the bill? Who
Okay.
pays?
In southern part of China, China is as big as United States. So I'm saying that probably people in northwest part of United States, their personality a little bit different than people from Tennessee, right? China has the same thing. I cannot give you a bigger picture. My generation, I'm 40, don't tell anyone. Okay, please tell them I'm 18. So my generation, I'm from Canton province, which is close to Hong Kong, including Hong Kong. Woman, you just don't pay. Lunch, dinner, not a date. Okay. If there is a man sit on the table, 3 women eat with this man, he will pay for, he will taking care. That's just a part of a culture from there. They're happy to do so. If they don't have money, then don't go out with women and go out with men. You know, it's really simple. So you don't look so cheap. I mean, but in other part of China, a little bit different because other part of China, it's not so rich at that time. So they're not usually divided by half and half. What they would like to do is, for example, you go out with somebody, just a friend, not a date, right? Had lunch, and this gentleman was really nice, and he just paid. So don't worry about it. You're with me. Come on, what do you mean you're going to pay for? I pay everything. I take care of you, right? Then after he paid a couple of times, maybe you cook for this guy one time, just showing we're a woman. We like to be taken care of, but we're not taker, right? So you're doing this back and forth. That's a very nice way, and they usually wouldn't go on the table. Here is like $18, okay, plus $4 tip. Let's say you're $11. They don't do this. But I don't really know the new generation, people in their 20s. They may be just like you guys, because the internet made the earth as a small place. So people maybe learn from each other, because I saw some girls, 20 years old, they were sitting with their future boyfriend. They voluntarily offered to pay bill. I was shocked. I was like, oh my God. Why would you pay for it? I mean, let him do it. Let him do it and cook for him. You know, return the favor in different ways. Don't build the habits. Let him just let you pay it. Okay.
A question. When, let's suppose that we have a hotel and we want to do a better job of attracting Chinese businessmen.
Okay.
Could you recommend anything that we might do to the hotel room or anything that we might serve at the restaurant for breakfast or lunch or dinner? Or give us maybe 3 things.
3 things you can do.
That we can do special that might help us attract the Chinese businessmen.
Absolutely. Number 1. Fancy hotels today in the United States, I don't see many 5-star hotels. They actually have a Chinese restaurant. Inside the hotel, they have Italian. They have others. In the old days, they were thinking about Chinese will go to 5-star hotel because China had a reputation 30 years ago. We were really poor. I mean, I never watched a TV until I was 20 years old. But China grew up so fast. They really have money. People really rich. So in that case, I think it's not a bad idea to have a Chinese restaurant with West decoration, make it very high class, and charge them more money and get really good Chinese chef to cook there. And at least you have an option to offer some Chinese food because they do like eat Chinese food. Believe it or not, if you go to Hong Kong for one trip, 1 week, you come back here, you're going to quit eat Chinese in any Chinese restaurant for the next 3 months because they just not so good. So for that reason, I think that's something you can thinking about. Or the second thing you can do is I would make a connection with local Chinese leaders, business leaders. I'm one of those. He's one of those. We know a lot of people. We know every Chinese people in town if they have a good name. We just know them because it's a small world. And take those people, make a special orientation in your hotel and invite those leaders. You don't have to get 100. Get top 25 the influential people, they write articles, they're speakers, they speak to their community. And they will help your hotel get name to their community. And when they have some event, you maybe first time you can be a sponsor. You don't have to sponsor the whole thing. Sponsor part of those and get them inside your door. If they're under your roof, that's you. It's you totally on control how you treat them. If you treat them well, then guess what? They're going to come back, right? Right, that's the second thing you can do. And the third thing you can do, I think there are Chinese New Year and special holidays, maybe put advertising something on their newspaper, making connections, or create an event that, let's say, what will come next? 重阳节. Right. Mother's Day is not a big deal because Mother's Day is not for Chinese, but there's
Thanksgiving in China.
the same.
October 10th, like the New Year's Day.
Yeah, New Year's Day. We just passed New Year's Day, so that's it. We'll do this year. Then we can find it on Chinese calendar. There's something special for their culture. Then you're involved with their culture. They're very loyal. Chinese are like Jewish people. If they're with you, that you treat them well, they always come back. So that's the good thing. So you plant a good tree, and you're going to harvest forever. It's worth it, right? So that's how many questions we can take. We're doing good.
Yeah, we're gonna move from questions to.
So. Before, of course, you're welcome to email me if you have a further question. And I love students. My first job was a college professor. I have a very special feeling to college, and I just love to teach. So you can always email me and check my website. And before we close, and I want to sing a little song, okay? Because this little song and say something about the core culture of Chinese, how they treat people. There is a song, and if here just beside him, if anybody Chinese they know the song, I hope you can sing along with me. The song name called "My Country," "My Motherland," or the name. There are three.